Hello, and thank you for joining me for this update of the 40 Days to Sober. Again, if you do not understand why my image is mosaicked and my voice is altered, please see the introduction video to explain why this is. In this video, I want to go through briefly what the first 4 or 5 days have been like. I like to call it day 0 through 4. Today is March 7th, 2014. So technically I'm on day 4. But this really all began on March 3rd, 2014, when I took my last drink at approximately 9 p.m. Now, many experts have said that when it comes to suddenly quitting alcohol, that the first 72 hours are the roughest, or the hardest, or whatever term you want to use. Now, remarkably, I have not had any sort of cravings that I can think of. So I think I'm doing pretty well. However, though, on day 1, which would have been Ash Wednesday, actually that would have been day 2, Ash Wednesday, March 5th, I did start, or I at least procured a, I'd already gotten them. I had gotten a B complex vitamin. I know you can't see them right now because I have this mosaic, but I have a B complex vitamin, a multivitamin, and then some fish oil that I've been taking. Now, the B complex vitamin that I'm using right now has 300 milligrams of vitamin C, 15 milligrams of B1 or thiamine, 10.2 milligrams of riboflavin or B2, 50 milligrams of niacin, which I think is B3, 5 milligrams of B6, 400 micrograms or mcg of folic acid, and 6 mcg of B12, and 10 milligrams of synthetic acid, which is a decalcium form of vitamin D or what have you. The multivitamin that I'm taking has 2,500 international units of vitamin A as retinol palmitate. It's not beta carotene, as far as I can tell. An additional 30 milligrams of vitamin C, 800 international units of vitamin D, 15 international units of vitamin E, an additional 10 milligrams of niacin, 4 milligrams of B6, 400 mcg of folic acid, 12 mcg of B12, 15 mcg of biotin, 10 milligrams of pantothenic acid, which is that other one that was in the B complex, 120 mcg of chromium picolinate, and 35.5 mcg of molybdenum. I'll spell it out here on a title, y'all can read it. Now, there has been a lot of speculation on whether or not the B complexes and things like that actually help with alcohol withdrawal. And I find this to be funny because a lot of people say that alcohol takes all of your B vitamins out of your system, but yet they say that having a B complex or a vitamin regimen doesn't help. Well, I'm usually a person that is pretty susceptible to, I'm not that susceptible, but people say that like the first 72 hours are the hardest for people quitting alcohol. And here I am approaching 96 without a drop, and I have not felt any withdrawals. I have not had any shakes. I may have had a little bit of the quote-unquote creepy crawler problem, where you're just itching for no reason, but it hasn't been that bad. I've only had one night of night sweats. I've actually had more night sweats when I was drinking than what I have when I've stopped. Now, another thing that may play into that is that I do sleep on a heating pad a lot. Because sometimes I have back problems, so maybe that leads to the night sweats, but I don't know. But for right now, I just wanted to catch y'all up on on the first, from day 0 to day 4. And I want everybody to think about their day 0. What is their day 0? And I think that's important to think of a day 0, not day 1, day 0, kind of like ground zero. What was the day, what was the time, or when is your day and time going to be for your day 0? Which is the exact moment in time that that last drop of alcohol has entered into your system. Like I said, my day 0 or ground zero time was March 3rd, 2014 at approximately 9 p.m. I'm sorry I didn't have my watch on me, but I know it was right around 9 p.m. when I finished my last beer. And I have not had a drop since. Now, I understand that right now, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's only been 4 days. Just wait until it hits a week. Well, if conventional wisdom has always been that the first 72 hours are the worst, and I've already passed that, okay? Now here comes the real test. There's going to be a possibility that next week I will be leaving town. I have to go take care of some business. And there's a possibility that I'll be in a tempting situation, especially when I'm traveling. It's really hard for me whenever I'm traveling to not drink, okay? But I think that while I've been here alone, by myself, for the past 4 days, and I have not been tempted to drink, I have not had any cravings to drink, I've been slamming down water and tea like nobody's business, taking these multivitamins. Now, a lot of people may think that I'm crazy, but they've been saying only take these once a day. But given how depleted my body probably is from the years of alcohol abuse that I've done, I've gone ahead and doubled the dosage, and I'm monitoring it as best as I can. I'm not going to take it up any higher than that. I'm not going to take it any, and then I'm not, by the way, nothing on this video connotes medical advice. I'm just telling you what I do. I'm just telling you what I do, and I'm going to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video when I post this, just to cover my own rear end. But that's basically where I stand. Day 0 through 4 have gone pretty well on the alcohol side. I think the biggest problem that I'm having is that I'm actually out of real cigarettes, and so I'm using alternative means of nicotine at this time, e-cig, and so that's really, I think I'm having more of a problem with that than what I've been having with the alcohol. And by the way, it is highly suggested that if you are a heavy drinker or a heavy smoker, do not attempt to quit both at the same time. You will go insane. That's from what I understand. But I have an alternative means. I have an electronic cigarette. But, you know, I also enjoy real cigarettes. So, that's the next thing on the list, is to completely kick, or at least go permanently down to an e-cigarette, in my life. So, that's my suggestion to all of you. Flush out your body. Research. Find out what is good for you. Don't take my advice. Don't take just what I'm doing as a guidepost. I'm doing this just to let people know what I'm doing and that it can be done. And another reason I want to tell my audience here something that I've never told anybody, and this is one of the main reasons why I am disguising my voice and my image at this point in time, because a lot of people out in the world right now, and I'm not going to go into any details of who those people are, just because if I was to even mention what the situation is, and if they were to see this particular video, they could figure out what it is. But this is something I'm not making up. My drinking had gotten so bad that I was basically drinking the first thing when I got up in the morning, which get up 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. If I had a beer in the house, I'd drink it. I'd drink that before I had a glass of water. I'd drink that before I'd have a Dr. Pepper. I'd have a beer in the morning. I was waking up in the middle of the night to drink. And it finally hit me that, yeah, I got a problem. I got a problem. But the problem with doing recovery is that, first of all, I just don't have a heck of a lot of money to spare to go into a rehab facility. And I don't have, with other things that I have going on in my life, I really don't have time to go to a rehab facility. Now, if you have time to go to a rehab, I am not downing rehab facilities in any way, shape, or form. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just saying, for me personally, this is what I'm doing. And I have to say, you know, for 4 days in, I'm not sitting here convulsing in bed and going through DTs or anything like that. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own way of dealing with things. But the number one element out of all of this, and it doesn't matter if you go to rehab or if you're doing it at home or if you're just doing the vitamin regimen and improving your diet and things like that, the one thing above anything that you got to have, and there's no magic pill, there's no magic bullet. The one thing that you have to have, no matter what aspect that you decide to do this with, is that you have got to want to do it. Just like a fat person has to want to lose weight. Somebody who is drinking at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning realizes they have a problem. I mean, drinking at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning when they're not working nights. Okay, if you drink at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and you're a night worker, that's not really a problem. But if you're waking up in the morning to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette, or it's the first thing that you do in the morning when you wake up, you got a problem. You have a problem. Or at least that's what I feel. So, you have to have the want to do it. Just like somebody who's overweight has to have the want to lose that weight. Okay? If you don't want to stop drinking, then I nor anybody else, or at least cut back. There's nothing that I or anybody else can do for you. I could show you all the pictures of rotted out kidneys and livers and all that. If you don't have the want, it's not going to do you any good. You'll just sit there and be invincibly ignorant and say it's not going to happen to me. You know, I'm not going to get pulled over. I'm not going to be that person that, slides over the median and kills a family of 5 or whatever else. It's not going to happen to me. It's going to be that other idiot on the highway. Well, fortunately for me, I've never been in that situation. I've had a couple of accusations leveled against me when it comes to alcohol and driving. That's all they have been accusations. But in any event, just don't think that it's not you. It is you. If you're looking at this video right now with my now garbled voice and mosaic image, then you must have some sort of question in your mind about your drinking. I didn't think that I had a problem. And then I started noticing the piles of beer cans under my desk, and I recycle my beer cans. And when I've noticed that there are 2 huge garbage cans full of nothing but beer cans in my backyard that were only consumed by me, you got a problem. You got to tell yourself, you got a problem. So that's what has led me to do this. And I understand that I may be a little hard to understand with this voice altering that I've done for this version of the video. Trust me, when the time is right, I will reveal these in their true form. But for right now, because of other things that are going on in my life, I cannot have it out that I am battling this problem head on. It would make other people very, very happy, and it would kind of give them what would be known as a silver bullet for certain situations, and I cannot afford that to happen. So, with that said, step number 1, examine yourself, know thyself, make sure that you are properly identifying the problem. Find out why You drink what you do. Find out, I mean, whether it's just one beer after you get home from work or if it's 2 6-packs in a day of tall boys, which is the level that I was getting to, and I was actually starting to get to 3 6-packs of tall boys in a day. That's 18 beers times 16 ounces. Do the math on that one. Okay? So that's a hell of a lot of beer in your system. And it depends. If you were doing just natural light or whatever else, that's like a 3.5% beer. But if you go up to Ice House, that's 5.5% of alcohol by volume. So you got varying levels there. And also, while on that subject, I am not saying at all that once this is over that, raise my right hand and say, I will never ever touch a beer again, or I will never ever touch a glass of wine again. I can't say that. I'm only human. Now, I will fight. I'm not going to sit down at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and start slamming back beers. No, I'm not saying that at all. Somebody offers me one, I'll probably nurse it or whatever. But what I'm trying to do for myself right now is see if I'm in this environment where temptations abound for me to run down to the store and buy alcohol. How long can I go? And my goal is to make it 40 days and beyond. That's my goal. Your goal may be different. Your goal may be to completely and totally get it out of your life for good, which is great. That's your choice. I'm not saying that I'll never touch a beer again. I can't do that. I cannot be that stupid to promise that to myself, to you, to anybody. Because if you make that promise and then you fail, then you just set up a whole different set of triggers for yourself. So I know my limitations, which is I know probably somewhere down the line I will have another beer, just not within the next 40 days. I'll go even one further. I may even have a beer on Easter Sunday. I'll go ahead and say that. I may. It's not that I will, but I may have a beer on Easter Sunday, because I tell you what, after 40 days of no alcohol, a beer might just knock me on my ass. Okay? So keep that in mind. But no, I'm not going to sit here and do this temperance thing and say I'm never going to have another beer in my life. So a lot of people say, well, this isn't really a recovery program, that you're really not going sober, that you're not doing whatever else. Well, and I don't want to drone on about this for too long, and I might get into this in another video, but a lot of people say that, like, the Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and nothing against the organization, it just wasn't for me. Welcome to the powerless group of Alcoholics Anonymous. No, I don't believe in being powerless. I don't, except to God am I powerless against. That's the only entity in this universe that I am powerless against. I am not going to let a substance, quote unquote, control my life. In other words, I'm going to control it. It's not going to control me. Okay? In other words, I can sit there and I can look at that beer and go, no, I'm not going to drink you today. I am not going to have alcohol today. But if for some strange reason I'm at a party, social event, whatever, I have a beer. And if you completely and totally surrender yourself to the model that you are quote unquote powerless, then that's on you. I don't believe in that for me. I believe that I can control my wants for certain things. See, the problem overall is not the alcohol. It's your ability to control your consumption of it. Everything in this universe has a good intent and a bad intent. Alcohol can be very good. It's a relaxant, things like that, yes, but if you use it too much, it becomes a poison. Okay, a weapon, a gun, can be used for protection, to hunt, or whatever else, or you can go out and commit mass murder. It's still the same gun. It depends on your application of it. So what I'm trying to do is modify and transform my current application of alcohol. But what I gotta do first is get down to the basic level of where I was probably about I'm not going to give my age, probably about 20 years ago. That's how long this has been going on with me. And so I got to get down. I understand that 40 days may not do it. I get that. But it's a start. And like I said in the introduction to this vlog, that I hope for this to go 40 days plus. And I will admit on this vlog, like on Easter Sunday, I will admit that, yes, I had a beer. Does that mean that I'm no longer on my road to sobriety? In my opinion, no. Because if I go beyond one beer, then we got a problem. Then I'm starting to break a promise. Then I'm starting to have an issue. But one beer Easter Sunday after 40 days, okay? You know, now, this may be a deal breaker for any of you who watch this. I understand that. I understand that. But this is just for my own personal edification. If I help anybody out along the way, great. If not, well, you know, I wish you luck in what you're trying to do. And I hope that you've been able to understand me in this version of the video with the voice being altered. I will review this and go from there. So anyway, I know this has gone on for about 22 minutes. I hope that you have endured it. And just remember, you know, God, don't worry about tomorrow, because God is already there. And even if you don't believe in God, He's already there. So if you need support, you can send me a message, send somebody a message. Don't just rely upon me. I'm not sitting here trying to get a following. But, you know, if you have any questions for me or comments, or, hey, you know, screw you, go pound sand, you're misleading people, go ahead, leave me a comment. I don't care. This is the way that I'm doing things. So anyway, thank you for watching, and God bless.